It's time to talk about a wild week in the WWE, specifically the two big shows on Sunday and Monday. I'm not talking about that fucking shit from Saturday Night Main Event, because I'll be honest, it was probably one of the worst things I've seen WWE produce in the last 3 years. So let's talk about the good stuff. Evolution, probably the best pay-per-view of 2025. Banger match after banger match after banger match. And I mean, it started off with a classic. Bayley. Evolution started off with an absolute classic. Bayley versus Lara Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Now, I have to say, the whole feud during this whole time has been probably one of the best women's feuds of this year. In fact, probably of the last couple of years. Because I have to say, Triple H booking women's wrestling hasn't been very good. I'm kind of convinced he didn't even book Evolution. But this match started off hot-paced, so much action, woman after woman going for each other. There was none of this slow shit of stare-downs. It was all hot, fire, speed, moves, roll-ups, flying moves, and they were hitting finisher after finisher, kick-outs, late near falls. Becky would stop when Lyra hit the Nightwing to Bayley. Lyra would stop Bayley getting the pin when she hit the Rose Plant to Becky. And then vice versa, when Bayley hit the Rose Plant to Lyra, Becky would stop that again, and it kept happening. It was like, who is going to hit the finisher? Well, in the end, it didn't come down to a finisher. It came down to who was the smartest. We had a great move by Bayley to roll up Lyra Valkyria, but Becky Lynch snuck in and rolled up Bayley really perfectly. It was executed to perfection. 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch retains the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and it is so fun seeing the Women's Mid-Card title on a pay-per-view. Because yet again, the Women's United States Championship didn't even get on Evolution, which is crazy. However, what did get on Evolution was the NXT Women's Championship, which is a wild thing, and I'm so happy for NXT. This was Jordynne Grace versus Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's Championship. And I have to say, I believe this might be Jordynne Grace's 4th attempt at trying to get the title. So I thought, surely, this is the one where she wins, right? And then she decided, I'm going to bring out Blake Monroe. And I was like, I do know what Mariah May does. Jacy Jayne came out, obviously, with Fatal Influence, which was the reason Blake Monroe was there to deal with Fatal Influence. However, I still figured we weren't going to pull the heel turn yet, right? It was a pretty good match. Jordynne Grace is quite good in the ring, and Jacy Jayne has really improved. But I think everyone apart from me figured out what was going to happen, because yes, there was many distractions before Jordynne was thrown into the ropes, and just as that happened, Blake Monroe would hit Jordynne Grace with the NXT title, and then Jacy would hit that awesome elbow kind of spinning elbow and would win. Jacy Jayne has defeated Stephanie Vaquer, Jordynne Grace in her title reign so far. I'm quite surprised because Jordynne went through that qualifying and I think just to lose again. I think Jordynne Grace is either time to move up to main roster, or we are going to have a feud versus Blake Monroe, which again could be on the main roster. Crikey. Next up was the Women's Tag Team Championship match, which was the Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Zaruka, which I absolutely love that team, and versus the Women's Tag Team Champions Raquel Rodriguez and the stand-in, I guess, for Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez. Absolutely loved this match. This was a fantastic match. I haven't seen many good women's tag titles. I do love a fatal four-way, but my favourite team in this match, and a team I wanted to win, was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And yeah, they came into it as like, we're not friends, we're just allies of convenience. Yeah, so the ending of the match was Saruka, basically, were controlling it. Alexa Bliss was about to get speared out of her blocks by Zarya. And Charlotte Flair would save Alexa, but you could hear Charlotte say screaming Lexi and then would throw out the way. Saruka has been speared, I think, 3 times in the space of 48 hours by Zarya. Don't worry, Zaruka is fine, as Fraxum said. But this would lead to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss then getting thrown out the ring, and Sol Ruca would be pinned by Raquel Rodriguez. And yeah, Roxanne and Raquel, as the Judgment Day, I guess now, retain the titles. Very, very good match. Very good match. Next up was Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. I had no expectations for this. I didn't think it'd be that good. But it was an actual very good match. Tiffany was great, putting out some good moves. Trish was always going to be good in these matches. Trish just always surprised me. But the story was crap, and it was just like a throwaway match. But I'm glad that Tiffany had a very good defense. This was her 6th title defense. She's had the title for 191 days. Good match. I enjoyed it a lot, and Tiffany Stratton did win with the moonsault after Trish Stratus tried to hit a moonsault. Tiffany got out the way, and then Trish was given like a thank you, Trish, kind of a send-off at the end of the match, but it's been reported that she's not retiring this year. She's having at least one more match, so when that's going to be, I don't know, because we're not going back to Canada, I don't believe. But unless we are, if we're going back to Canada one more time, then I'm sure Trish will be there. But for now, this is it for Trish. But I'm gonna assume we'll get one more Evolution. Next up was one of my most anticipated matches, Jade Cargill versus Naomi, a no holds barred match made a bit more special by Bianca Belair being the special guest referee. This was a chaotic carnage crash of a match, and I loved every second of it, apart from Jade Cargill winning. But for reasons later on, I don't mind Jade Cargill winning now. I think, yeah, Jade probably did need to get the win because she is obviously facing Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam for the Women's Championship, so she's queen the ring. Bianca didn't favour anybody in this match. She played her role as the referee to perfection. I'm very interested to see what happens with Bianca now at SummerSlam, because I'm sure if she's cleared, she's going to be at that show and she's going to have a match. What it's going to be, I don't know. But yeah, no, this was a brutal match. There was a camera thrown at Naomi. There was a toolbox which indeed killed Naomi. Something blew up on the table. Really enjoyable match. And with 4 out of 4 great matches so far. The Women's Battle Royal was next up. We had Lola Vice, Mishin, B-Fab, Candice LeRae, Tatum Paxley, who was in there for like 5 seconds. Piper Niven, Alba Fire, Kalani Jordan, who did the Kofi Kingston spot, that was sick. Izzy Dame, who was in there for like 10 seconds. Lash Legend, who had a fantastic performance. Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Nia Jax, Chelsea Green, Jada Parker, Julia, Zelina Vega, Stephanie Vaquer, Ivana, and Nikki Bella, who I had predicted to win the whole thing. The winner would get a championship match at Clash in Paris. Nikki Bella would come out first, then it would be Chelsea Green and the Secret Service, which would lead on to a feud now starting on Monday Night Raw for them. Lola Vice would come out and get a great reaction. To be fair, throughout the whole show, everyone was getting a really good reaction. The crowd was amazing throughout the entirety of the night. We kind of got a return, I guess, from Candice LeRae, but Michael Cole kept calling her Candice Michelle, which was a bit annoying. But yeah, we get to the Battle Royal. Key moments, I guess. Tatum Paxley got thrown out in 5 seconds. Same with Izzy Dame. And then it was just whatever happens next. Meechin stuff. Chelsea Green. Zelina Vega would get Julia eliminated. So we are definitely going to run Julia Vega back one more time. Zelina looks in a pissed off mood. Didn't look like she was willing to like shake anyone's hand when she was walking down her entrance. I think we're getting a new side of Zelina, a more aggressive side, and I like that. We got down to the final 4, which was Stephanie Vaquer, Nikki Bella, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend, who had a phenomenal performance. Lash would actually eliminate Nikki Bella, which surprised me quite a lot. She would then also eliminate Nia Jax with the help of Stephanie Vaquer, which meant it was down to Stephanie Vaquer and Lash Legend. The winner will get a Women's World Championship match at Clash in Paris. Stephanie Vaquer would hit the Devil's Kiss on the outside to Lash Legend about 10 times. Lash would fall to the floor, and Stephanie is heading to Paris for a Women's World title match. So, let's get into the Women's World title match. The greatest women's match I have ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating. There is no way for me to explain how good this match is. You just need to go watch it. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley can have a standing ovation because they pulled out so many incredible moves. They even did the ref bump spot to perfection, better than the men. But there was near falls. There was awesome moments. There was like Io getting slammed on the ground with like two vicious razor edges. The power bombs from Rhea. There was awesome moves. Io Sky's Sogan ring. There was a kick out of the Io moonsault. I mean, wow. And then there was the ref bump. The ref got clocked by a drop kick. And besidely, they went to the outside and we were still going. There was no slow fighting. It was still fast paced. They were giving it everything. They were proving the fact that, yes, they deserved the main fucking... Io Sky and Rhea would then fight through the crowd. And it was crazy. And then there'd be a point which Io would get on top of like some like boxes. Jump 20 feet in the air onto Rhea Ripley, which was awesome. We finally get back into the ring. And it looks like Io's going for the moonsault. Rhea stops her, catches her. They're both on the top rope. I'm thinking, okay, is Rhea going to finally hit that riptide? No, not that. A fucking Spanish fly from Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Both women are down. And then suddenly you hear the music I did not think that I was going to hear at all in this match. Proceed with motherfucking caution, bitches. Naomi, battered and bruised, stumbles out with a referee, with the briefcase, with razor blades on her gear. She's pissed off and she's cashing in. I'm like, oh my god, she's going to fail to cash in. She's too injured. Naomi had pulled one over on every single person. This was genius. We all thought she was cashing on Tiffany Stratton. No, it was Rhea Ripley at Io Sky. She cashes in. The bell rings. I'm thinking she's still not going to win, right? Throws Rhea into the ring post. Hits the split-legged moonsault after hitting Io with the briefcase. 1, 2, 3. Naomi with the woman's heist of the fucking century. Evolution ends with Naomi with the Women's World Championship. And if I see anyone say, oh, but that ruined the match. No, it fucking didn't. It elevated an already amazing match. An already amazing show. To the heights of things people will remember. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, the whole match. The Naomi cash-in. Becky, Bayley, Lyra. The Blake Monroe heel turn. The Fatal 4-Way tag will be remembered. I mean, Stephanie McCurry getting that opportunity to go to France. Trish Stratus putting on a brilliant performance. Jade Cargill and Naomi going to war. Evolution was a bloody revolution. It was the best show of 2025. And if they don't go back to doing it, there is big problems with Triple H. And I do not believe he booked the show. But anyway, what a fucking banger of a show. Naomi stands on top of the women's division. And now we can head into what happens on Monday Night Raw, because it just gets better and better. We open up with the Women's World Champion, Naomi. I love her caution gear. It's so sick. Great reaction from the crowd. You deserve it, chance. American crowds, you're getting a good reaction right now from me. You're doing quite well. The Evolution crowd, wow. For Americans, amazing. They loved women's wrestling. But we had to start off with Naomi talking about, no, you don't get to say I deserve it now. You didn't feel the glow, but now you're feeling me. Brilliant promo from her. Gets interrupted by Rhea Ripley. I expected that. Thankfully, Rhea did not say the line, you stole my Women's World Championship that I never lost. She just said, you cost me the Women's Championship. Finally, Rhea, some character development. It was very expected that Rhea Ripley was going to come out pissed off because she had her title taken off. Because yes, I didn't mention, Rhea did get a pinfall on Io Sky. The referee was down. Rhea hit the Riptide, which was the only Riptide in the match, because I don't remember Io kicking out of a Riptide. So I kind of think if a referee was in there, Io would have kicked out of the Riptide. But that's my only nitpick from the match. Rhea should have had a Riptide kicked out of, and then they could have done that one. So it makes more sense, because I think Io would have kicked out. But yeah, Rhea comes out pissed off, says, you stole the chance for me to finally beat Io Sky. You're now on my list. But Io Sky's like, I'm not having any of this. No. That's my championship, and I'm getting it back. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to do a triple threat at SummerSlam. And boy, oh boy, was I right. Io Sky, Naomi, Rhea Ripley is official for SummerSlam, thanks to Adam Pearce. I mean, it should main event. It should main event. If you've got a 2-night SummerSlam, I'm not hearing any of this bullshit of like, oh, but Cody Cena and the men's world title matches should main event each night. No! These 3 women who were involved in an absolute cinematic classic at Evolution do not deserve to be an opener, a mid-card. They deserve to be the main fucking event. Evolution blew away every single premium live event that WWE have done this year. Do not piss me off. These 3 should have a main event. And it will be so damn fucking good. Just proceed with caution, because Naomi is keeping that gold. Oh yes, sir. The Judgment Day were backstage celebrating their win. Yeah, really are replacing Liv Morgan with Roxanne Perez now. Raquel, I see you. What are you doing? Dom, I see you trying to keep away from Finn Balor's reasons. I hope we get a point where Dom is on the phone with Liv, because at this point, I'm getting worried. Bron Breakker was backstage and Paul Heyman was asked by Jackie Redmond on an update on Seth Rollins, and we didn't get an update on Seth Rollins apart from that he has until June to cash in Money in the Bank. Basically kind of says maybe Seth's out for a while then. Paul Heyman says Bron Breakker's going to run the gauntlet tonight and he's going to go into main event SummerSlam. Bayley versus Lara Valkyria was next up in a 2 out of 3 falls to see who would challenge Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. These 2 have such good chemistry, put on yet another brilliant match, with Bayley getting the first pinfall, Lara Valkyria getting the second one, and then reversing the last one into a Nightwing, picking up the win. Becky Lynch versus Lara Valkyria is official for the 3rd and probably final time. It's SummerSlam. I believe they need to add a stipulation. Make it Hell in a Cell, street fight, whatever. I don't think it can be a normal match. These 2 have so much hatred for each other. SummerSlam's in 2 weeks. Make it official and have a stipulation. But I'm really excited to see Becky and Lara go out one more time, because they haven't had a bad match yet. I'm really excited for this one. Nikki Bella would end up beating Chelsea Green in her return match on Raw. This was her first Raw match, I think, in a decade, they said on commentary. It was a decent match. Nothing super special, but yeah, well done, Nikki. Glad you won. Gunther would come out next to talk about beating Bill Goldberg in a match that happened. I wish it didn't happen. Thankfully, Bron Breakker would come out. And Paul Heyman would say that man is going to be the one to main event SummerSlam and take the World Championship from Gunther. He's going to run the gauntlet, beat everyone, and take the title. Alright, I don't mind if Bron Breakker wins. But we got something a little different. Penta would come out first. We drew second in the gauntlet. And we'd have Bron Breakker versus Penta. And it was a pretty solid match. Penta would then go for that flying moonsault thing off the middle rope. Bron Breakker would catch him into a bloody spear. And that would be Pentagon. LA Knight would come up next, and unfortunately for LA Knight, he didn't get the win. I really don't know what we're doing with LA Knight. He wasn't meant to beat Seth. Seth put LA Knight over, which is great, but it's led to fucking nothing. But LA Knight did have injury, apparently, so that's how they're going off with the story. He ate a spear from Bron Breakker. About 5 minutes, and he was gone. Jey Uso came out next. He had a bit of momentum and then he decided to yeet. I don't know why. People say it was funny. I won't. Jey Uso would then get speared the living daylights out by Bron Breakker after Bronson Reed would cost him. And unfortunately that meant Jey Uso would lose. So it was down to CM Punk versus Bron Breakker. By the way, Jey Uso had the shortest time in the actual gauntlet match. CM Punk would come out and have the upper hand for a really long time and would actually end up picking up the win. Finally, we have the match we wanted. Gunther versus CM Punk at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's going to blow the roof off the stadium. But we weren't done yet, because Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker decided to attack Jey Uso and CM Punk. And finally, after what seems like fucking decades, Roman Reigns made his damn return. 3 months, 4 months, however long it's been, Roman Reigns, the OTC, has decided, oh, I'm actually going to turn up to work now. Don't like his new shirt. It says TC1, what, Tribal Chief 1. Looks crap. Should have kept the OTC stuff. But it's Roman Reigns. He's finally back. He helped up Jey Uso. I believe we're going to maybe do Roman and Jey versus Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed at SummerSlam, because CM Punk's got Gunter. But finally, Roman's back. And that is the Monday Night Raw review. It was a good show. A lot of women's wrestling, which was good to see. It seems like Evolution's kind of helped. Again, I don't believe Triple H is booking this either. And Roman Reigns is finally back. So yeah, that was the whole weekly wrestling roundup. And maybe SmackDown will be good this week. Probably won't. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and bye for now.